darling friends, happy Monday morning. So it is a slow start today. I don't know what's wrong. I just am not moving very quickly. I'm not kidding. I'm trying to get my heart to start. Elaine, this is a giant cup of Yorkshire Red, and I used 2 tea bags in it. So I'm hoping that it is going to resurrect this old gal. So I thought we were going to be having freezing cold weather this week. I thought today was supposed to be cold here in New Jersey. Guess what? Not cold at all. It is fantastic out. So little chilly, but not as cold as it has been. So we have some interesting stuff on the board today. We looked at whether Trump was going to be impeached in the production video. We also looked at Jessica Mulroney, James Holt again, Prince Harry a little bit. And now it's your turn. So now we've got live questions for you guys. So what kind of pop culture craziness do you want to hear? And if it's your first time here, I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. And this is Mixtape Monday, where I take questions from you. And Yanks, saving the day with a question right off the top. Let's make this nice and big, and we're going to do this one. There we go. Yanks, I appreciate you asking a question. So, is Steven Spielberg really working with the government to release a UFO info with his new film? Look at that. 5 of Wands. We've got some cooperation with the powers that be. Very, very interesting stuff. Now, I know I've talked about him before. Pat Price was one of the best remote viewers in our remote viewing Psychic Spy project. And Pat Price actually remote viewed one of the mountains up in Alaska and saw an alien base under it. And people speculate that that is the reason that Pat Price met an early demise. If you'd like to know more about Pat Price, you can go watch Third Eye Spies, and that is a readily available film about the remote viewing and Stargate projects that we had. So yeah, I do think that they're all working together. 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands. So what some of the expectations with alien revelation, if the powers that be reveal all the stuff that they know about alien contact, alien interactions with humans, it's going to cause a kerfuffle. So they said in, I think it was Tommy Lee Jones who actually said it. Good morning, Lady of the Lake. That people are stupid. A person is smart, but people are stupid. And this, I do think, gives us a little bit of an indication that they are concerned that if they release the information, people are going to go absolutely bananas and crazy, and they're going to be like Randy Quaid in Independence Day. That's really the concern here, is that individuals are just going to go absolutely out of their mind. I think that that is an assumption. I think people would conduct themselves a little bit better. Let's see how people would conduct themselves if there was alien revelation. Elaine, I see your question. I'm going to hit that in just a second. How would the people of America conduct themselves? The United States of America. How would people in America conduct themselves if aliens were revealed? You know, it's honestly almost too little too late. Like, you know, we kind of already know there's a lot of stuff going on up there. Why don't you just let us have the information and let us sort it out? So people in the United States, I knew it. It's going to be that Leonardo DiCaprio moment. Look, I see it. What about people in the UK? People in the UK as well. The UK has a little bit of a different attitude toward this. Well, what's all the secrecy for? Aren't we a dominant force in the universe. A little bit of arrogance there. I'm just going to say, I think that people in the UK, diplomacy is something that they find is a good piece of equipment in their arsenal. So that's really not, aren't we the greatest firepower in the universe, but aren't we the greatest debating and negotiating minds? So I think that that's a little bit more of it. What about Russia? So I think that Russia has a bit more of a, we're going to dig our heels in and we're going to protect ourselves, a little bit more of a prepper, doomsday prepper kind of attitude here. So I think we're going to see that. And one last thing. What about some of the countries in the Middle East? What about some of the countries in the Middle East? No, sir, not going to like it. Not going to like it. They're, you know, they'll be shouting at the sky. Some of the people will be shouting at the sky. That being said, before we jump off this topic and get into some of the other questions, and guys, if you have questions, just put them all in bold down there. Just put them all in bold. I will read them. Lady of the Lake, I got yours too. So, Project Bluebeam. Who knows about Project Bluebeam? Project Bluebeam is an alleged project where images of the nations or hemisphere gods would be shown above populations, and then it would change and it would merge into a new god. And it is to kind of bring all of the people of the world, let them know that their religions are not their religions. Humanaki, I got your question. Stick around. That all of their gods are wrong. All of their religions are wrong. And that this new projected God in the sky is the one true God. So let's see. Project Bluebeam. Is it still on the table? I had psychically gotten, I guess last year or the year before, that I think they rejected Project Bluebeam because there was just too many people that knew about it. Let's see. Project Bluebeam, still on the table. It is. Oh my goodness, communication 5G. So I think the project, if there is a different project, let's call it Project Red Beam. I think the project is going to now include supplementals. And I've said that some of the legalization of certain things that people take, for example, right now in New Jersey, marijuana is legal, but there is a lot of discussion about taking adaptogens. Everyone calls them adaptogens, but mushroom, coffee, those kinds of things. So not that mushroom coffee actually gets you to a place where you're seeing things, but I do think that they need to push this agenda a little bit further before we can get anywhere else. And what I want you guys to know is that this is the Alicia Wicker True Crime and Conspiracy deck. I did tag it in the production video. I will put it here as well. I got your questions about Greenland, guys. We will jump on that in just a second. But I think that not only will they be working with getting some substances into people so that it's a more believable projection, but also that they're going to use these nifty things that we all have in our pocket, sometimes attached to our head. And I think that that is going to impart a fearful experience, not so much a benevolent new God that we can all look up to, but a fearful experience. So I'm going to say that right there. That's what I think is going on. So Project Bluebeam, not dead yet, but they're going to have a new one. So maybe it's Project Dark Bluebeam. So we'll have to stick around, see what happens with that. Let's go. You guys are dropping some great questions. So that's my Alicia Wicker True Crime Conspiracy deck. And I have the Mystical Medleys deck that we're working with this week too. And let's open up this question from Elaine. I still believe Holt went back to the US or UK to set up a home base for Harry to get them to go back when Charles says it's okay. What do you think? Because he does work for them in the UK. So what I think that Harry and Holt, possibly Meghan, cooked up the idea of sending Holt back to clear the path for Harry, clear the runway. What I am going to do is I'm going to ask if Charles is on board with this. Is Charles working with them? He wants plausible deniability. He is working with them. The king is working with Holt, but he wants plausible deniability. He doesn't want anyone to know that his hand was in there. I do think he is paving the way. Is he paving the way for Meghan to come back without him? Yes. Yes. So if you haven't been following my channel for some time, I have been saying since before Queen Elizabeth passed away that there was a plan B that she had put into place. That plan B was going to be to bankrupt Harry as much as they could and then bring him back. And that was how they were going to avoid him losing everything that he owns. Right now, the news that we heard today is that Harry and Meghan probably bankrolled everything for as ever. So they probably have all of this money tied up in stock, meaning as ever stock, like not stocks. So is Harry just about bankrupt? Is he just about bankrupt? Two of Pentacles. His money's not real money anymore. His money is invested in things like, his money is invested in all kinds of stuff that is not going to turn around or turn a profit. He has money splashed all over the place and it's not earning more value. It's not turning into anything else. So the investments that they have made are really falling through. They were poor to begin with, poor investments, and they're just not doing it. The house is absolutely causing them an issue. And I know there's a lot of debate whether they actually have the house in Montecito or if they live someplace else. Whatever they own, guys, it's breaking them. The mortgage is breaking them. And I do think that it's going through some kind of trust. The home is probably owned under a trust. And that is just kind of, it feels like a broken machine. That's what it feels like. It's like, it's just not doing what it should do. There's always an issue. There's always like an additional fee that's attached to it. So, yeah, I think the finances, I think he is nearly skint. So I think he's almost all the way out of it. Does Meghan, because now I'm also hearing in the news that Meghan may come back. Is Meghan a part of this plan? Is she a part of this plan? No. No. It's a bridge too far. She's not a part of this plan. Not at all. Not at all. So I think that they're coming back separate. So I think that Holt, Elaine, is working with Harry and Charles, secretly Charles. And I think they're working to get him back without Meghan and get him as unscathed as possible. So we're going to have to sit and see what happens with this. I know that they deserve each other. I know there's nothing for her in England, but I still think she's going to negotiate to try and get a place in England so that she has one more piece of property. I'm telling you, I think she's going to try and get another piece of property. Yeah, I agree, Elaine. It is going to be hard for Charles to deny it. But I think he is really trying to keep it behind the scenes. So great great feedback question there. Thank you. Or feedback comment. So I appreciate that. I like the feedback, guys. Keep the feedback coming. All right. So, Lady of the Lake, my dear, will Trump block the UK from giving away that Shagos? I say that Shagos, correct? Will Trump block the UK from doing that? So I think Trump is going to underscore the value of giving away those the Chagos Islands. I think he's going to underscore that. Does he block it? But I don't think he actually blocks it. I think he gets in someone's ear and advises very, very strictly that you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. This is an asset. This isn't something that you should let go. This is an asset for you and your country. I do think he's going to offer some assistance. We've got two cards stuck together here. If the United Kingdom does not want to mother that child, then Trump will come in and give an assist. I don't think they're going to respond to that very well, though. I don't think so. I think the powers that be in the United Kingdom want minimal Donald Trump assistance. Everyone's kind of looking at it like a Venezuela or a Greenland thing. They think he's just going to roll up and take what he wants. So that'll be interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on this and see if he has any secret meetings that, he gets into a conversation with the powers that be. Good question, though. Good question. I didn't know that he had even sounded off on this. I'll have to look in the news today. So, Penny, I agree that Meghan has no other money to buy another property. I totally agree with that. I think she's going to try and negotiate. The way that it works in California, she is going to demand that she be kept in the manner in which she was previously kept, which is going to be that Montecito Olive Garden or whatever we're calling it. She's going to need to be kept in a place with 16 bathrooms. That will be part of her settlement. It'll be part of her settlement. So that's why I think when they did go to California, I think the Queen knew they were headed for California when they first started talking about leaving the United Kingdom. Bankrupting Harry, bankrupting in quotations, bankrupting Harry would prevent him from losing any nest egg that would support him and his progeny in later years. So I think that they will work with her to see if they can get her happy enough to shut her yap. That makes sense. I am not sure what an evergreen container baby means. I'm going to have to look this up. I don't know. I don't know what that is. That a test tube baby or what is that? I'm looking it up. Oh, was he purchased from someone? Is that what that means? Humanaki, come back and just fill me in on that because I want to answer it with at least a little body of knowledge. Come back to me and let me know what that is. Yeah. I want to answer that, but just give me a little bit more information. I'm going to go back to Elaine's question. It's a Oh, okay. All right. We'll go back to it. Thank you. Hang on, we're going to bring that up. Okay. So, is Justin Bieber An itty bitty baby that just kind of showed up. He was in the catalog. Was he in the catalog? Justin Bieber. Catalog baby? Catalog baby. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you, that's why it wasn't a big deal to let him go stay with that other dude, with the flavor camp guy. Not a big deal. Not a big deal to send him over there, because the ownership, the people who possessed him were actually, yeah, right, Humanaki? The people that actually had ownership over him, that was part of the contract. Part of the contract, right? We're going to find out. We'll find out when and if that marriage breaks up. If his marriage breaks up, we'll find out. Because I think Haley will allude to it, Haley Bieber. So keep an eye on that. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild, guys. So I think he was engineered and purposely. This was going to be, he was bred to be a celebrity, or well, selected to be a celebrity. Selected. Great question. Great question. All right, let's talk about Greenland. So I did, Elaine, I did do a reading on this last week about Greenland. And what it was that there are a lot of resources there that Trump is keen on. It is also a critical intercontinental ballistics location. So it's a location that you can direct from, and you can also deflect from. So is there anything else that is important in Greenland for Trump? Anything else that we need to know? Four of Swords. I think it's all out there. Three of Cups. Yeah, this is about getting some goodies out of the ground. Oh boy. Hang on. Humanaki. We're getting lots of questions here. Humanaki, so great to have you in the chat. Love seeing you here. All right, we're going back to my girlfriend Alicia Wicker's True Crime and Conspiracy deck. I do have a link if you would like to get this deck from her, or give her a follow over on her channel. Stalking. This is in regard to neighborhood, in regards to Greenland. Stalking the neighborhood. And I've said this, confession. I just want my high school to be a nice place, said Veronica Sawyer. This is about cleaning up our hemisphere. This is about improving the neighborhoods. As a real estate developer, Donald Trump, if you clean up the neighboring neighborhoods, you're not going to have a lot of crime. You're not going to have a lot of nonsense. That is what he's doing, guys. And I know that this is kind of manifest destiny, but he's trying to get in there and influence some of these other countries. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying what his perspective is. This is a way of him cleaning up the neighborhood. So that is the importance of Greenland. It is also the importance of Venezuela. He wants to secure all of this side of the world, and he is going to deal with the minerals and the resources that they have in all of those countries. And he's selling it. He's selling it. He's bringing it out to the world. So, you know, he's a salesman. He's a salesman. He's doing all the things, So, great question, though. Great question. What is next? So Lady of the Lake wants to know, China and Russia, did they want Greenland too? China and Russia want Greenland too. China want Greenland? They'd like a little piece of that action. They would like a little piece of that action, but I don't think that they are ready to go forth and try and do that. Russia. No, Russia does not want a piece of Greenland. I think that Russia actually still wants a piece of Alaska. I think they want their part of Alaska back. Let's see. Does Russia still want Alaska? They want to get their old neighborhood back. Justice, yeah. They regret that. They regret letting that go over. Two of Pentacles was a dumb move. They should have been smarter. I'm not asking if they're going to get it back, if they want it back. I think that Putin's got his eye on Alaska and he's waiting to see a little bit of weakness over there. If it gets weak, if the United States gets weak, I think he'll jump in there and go, let me make you a deal. Let me make you a deal. Fun thing. Ella and I found a Russian radio station, all Russian, and all Russian music over the weekend. And we had a blast driving around. I kept telling her, oh, they're saying 12. They've not sit. They kept saying 12. And Adin Nol. They were giving out phone numbers, and Adin Nol is 1010. So it was pretty funny. And there were a lot of commercials for medical facilities and DTA talking about kids. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let's see what we got next. We've got Starmer putting some folks in Ukraine. How is this going to go? If Starmer drops some boots on the ground in Ukraine, what is the most likely outcome? The path. He's going to try and mother that moment, the pressure. Ooh, he'll create World War III if he does that. He's not going to have the support. The hidden hand is it's not winnable for anybody there. Public face, he's trying to look generous. It's not going to work. Private goal, Queen of Wands. He's trying to destroy Russia, and the likely pivot is, I think, the Russian wannabe czar comes right in and stomps down. I think that's what happens. So not a good scene. I don't think Starmer should do that. What should he do instead? Let's see what he should do instead. No transformation. It doesn't matter how many allies are upset with him. It doesn't matter if he's not getting his way. He needs to understand the people of the United Kingdom do not want this. They do not want to go to war. And if he inspires a warlike attitude in them, it may be at home. So I think Starmer should think twice before he gets into an engagement like this. So while we're at this, I'm just going to drop a question in here. So we've got Trump creating military situations in Venezuela. We've got China eyeballing Taiwan. We've got Putin still in Ukraine. And we have Starmer threatening to put people in Ukraine. Are we at World War III? Are we there yet? Please keep in mind that I have long believed that we've been in World War III since about 2008, 2009. I believe is the information wars, which is the wag the dog war, where all of our information and media is slightly skewed to motivate and enhance what they want us to do. So, the world, humanity, how close are we to World War III? We're at the threshold, guys. At the threshold. The powers that be are working on it. The powers that be are working on it. There's a lot of conflict. They can't get everybody on the same page. World wars require a bit of coordination and cooperation. Remember your allied and your access teams? So it's going to really require that we have more nations that are working together. This doesn't feel so much like a world war, but a number of independent wars that are not going to really choose sides. People are going to say, we can't really back you up because we got our own thing going on. So is that what we're going to get? Can't back you up. Two of Cups. Let's get together. Page of Cups. We're going to agree to disagree, but we're not going to be able to get on the same page. We don't have the same goals, aspirations, and objectives. We don't have the same objectives. So there we go. There we go. Thanks, Becky, for being here. Penny, yes, I will be on Hypsee after this. I will be live, yeah, for readings after this. I will drop the link before I finish this live. All right, we're looking good. Let's find another question. Oh, this is fun. It's a fun question. Thank you, Zeph. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Will we get a male or female mayor this London? Will we get a male or female London mayor this May? Male or female? Ooh, Three of Swords. Means we're not going to get what we want at all. We are not going to get the thing that we want. Why not? Five of Pentacles. I'm worried about this election for you guys. I am worried about it over there. I do think it's going to be revealed if there is any funny business. But I think we've got some issues in the run up to that. I saw the same thing for the 2024 elections here in the United States. And fortunately, there were almost guerrilla teams that were outside the polling locations that were watching in the backs, doing that kind of stuff. They were not official government members. They were just people that were looking out for the American way. Hopefully, we are going to have some of our British cousins that are going to be watching out for that as well. Lady of the Lake, I will ask this question. I think it's unformed right now. Is Khan going to be the next mayor? Four of Swords, still undecided. Tower moment. Two of Cups and Sad Squirrel. I think that we may be in for a surprise with him. That Tower card, when we talk about elected officials and politicians, those kinds of things, the Tower card is either scandal or maybe a fascinator. We might get something like that. But I think that he's going to be decidedly unhappy, as a sad squirrel would be. So let's see what happens as we get closer to that election. All right. So Starmer is sending troops to Greenland. What is the point of that? This is a huge mistake. He is trying to make connections with the people that are anti-Trump. I'm not even kidding. That's what's going on right now. He is trying to align himself with the never Trumpers, all of the people that are very anti whatever Donald Trump is doing. Doesn't even matter. He could be brushing his teeth. He could cure cancer and people would still say he was doing the wrong thing. So he's trying to align himself with the people. This is a war against Trump. Does Starmer want to go to war against Trump? No, not really. I think if he had more robust support from Europe, I think he would stand up a little bit more firmly against Donald Trump. So Trump just declared war on the Mexican drug cartel. Let's see how that's going to go. Let's see how that's going to go. Let's see. Hi, Christine. Hope you're having a great day. Ace of Wands. Enough is enough. Four of Swords. Hi, Moondrop. Good to see you. This is interesting because I do think it is a saber rattle. I think this is a bit of a saber rattle. Not quite ready to jump in and create some action yet on the Mexican cartels. Not quite ready to do that yet, but a big old saber rattle. A big old saber rattle. All right, guys, I'm going to finish this up real quick. So I am behind on the news that's going on in Iran. I was trying to pay attention to it, but boy, oh boy, was I tired last night. I was climbing Mount Laundry. But let's see, will the Iranian royal family be back sitting on the throne? Will the Iranian royal family be back on the throne? Will they be back? Five of Wands. There's going to be a lot of conflict about this. I do think that they are going to be urged to assume that role, but I don't think that there's going to be unilateral agreement that they should. I just don't think that they're going to do that. Routing out the I don't even know if I can say extremism, routing out the existing leadership there is going to be harder than expected. There are a few that are really embedded in there that will make the re-entry of the royal family complicated. They are essentially prepared to manage that situation should the royal family come back. And I mean, manage the situation like in the most mafia kind. They'll take care of it, if you know what I mean. Take care of it. So I think that they would have to have lots and lots of protection for that royal family. And I don't know if they're quite ready to hand over power and control of elements of the country to that royal family. I think there's a lot of dissenting voices in Iran right now. Status of Iran, real quick. We're going to do status of Iran real quick. real quick status of Iran. We're going to read for Iran like Iran is an entity. How are you doing, Sugar Plum? How are you doing, Sugar Plum? Let's see. Iran. The Hermit, learning from old lessons, getting to work. We're evolving, steaming toward the finish line. What do we got? Ace of Swords. We are getting into a new culture there. This revolt is going to happen. This is my prediction for this. So it's going to happen. The government's going to fall. There's going to be another government that is put in place, but it's going to be very rickety for a while. They are not going to convert as quickly as everyone wants them to. They're not going to go back to the way that it was, to the progress that they had prior to the revolution. I think it's exactly not a new culture, but like a nouveau culture. It's like a retro culture. It's bringing back that pre-1979 culture, very Western. I think there's a lot of elements in the country that want to put some guardrails and security on that. They don't want to go all the way back. They want to keep some of the strictness in there. So I think we'll have to keep an eye on it, but I think Iran is going to be a little rickety for a while once this happens. So we'll keep an eye on it. TRG personal readings tomorrow. We have a live reading room at 3:30 New York time. This is just for pop culture readings that come out of the premiere that I did just before this. So glad to see you in the chat. Hope to see you tomorrow. You can also book readings with me on Hypsee at any time. So I'll be live in the afternoon. If you have some questions on Hypsee for instant readings, you can also book readings, recorded readings on that. All right. So last question, guys, and I'm going to close out my questions here. Let me do it. Questions closed, y'all. So closing out my questions for this. And like I said, guys, I will be live on Hypsee after this. If you have any of your own personal questions, I'm also going to be doing production videos all afternoon. So have some fun. Have some fun, kids. Have some fun. All right. Will Trump send troops to the UK? Nope. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. We're two separate countries. We're going to stay in our own lane. We're going to stay there. As much as I hate to do it because, I love England. I love Scotland. My family comes from Scotland. I love golfing. And I just think it's a sad state of affairs and the country really needs to get back on its feet. The kingdom, it's a shame. Queen Elizabeth would be turning over in her grave if she could see what it was. But I think Trump says, I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm not going to cross the streams or anything like that. So Zeph, I know you love my Donald Trump voice. So boys and girls, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm sorry that I was a little bit late today. Like I said, it was just a little bit tricky to get up this morning. I don't know why. I was making the bed at like 10:30 last night. Greg said I slept like a log, but I feel like I could sleep for another 10 hours today. So thank you so much, guys. Tomorrow afternoon, 3:30, we are going to have a live reading room here. Humanaki, was great seeing you. I love seeing you in the chat. But tomorrow we have a live reading room for paid readings. That's for personal readings tomorrow afternoon. We're going to have another one on Thursday. We are going to meet up back here on Wednesday for a premiere and then a live and then live Hypsee hours. And we are also going to have our members only live and our general audience live on Friday. So it's going to be great. So Penny, I'm going to kickstart my Hypsee in just a minute. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes and get my office a little bit sorted out, get myself sorted out, and I hope that I will see all of you very, very soon. I want to thank the mods. Let's all give the mods a little applause. Thank you so much, mods, for keeping me safe from the trolls in the dungeon. You guys are fantastic. And what we're going to do is I am going to log off now and hopefully see some of you in the future. Keep your questions coming. Keep your curiosity coming. Drop them in the chat. I take them from the chat on all of my questions. So this channel is entirely driven by you guys. And you're doing such a great job. You make me look good. I'll see you in the future.